Good evening and welcome to the Village Board meeting for the Village of Pleasantville. Today is Monday, May 12. If you are watching live on Monday, May 12, we encourage you to call in if you have comments or questions. The call-in number is 769-1677. As always, you can also watch us live and later on-demand webcast at pctv76.org. Our next work session will be held a week from today, Monday, May 19 at 7 p.m. And our next regular meeting is scheduled for Monday, June 9 at 8 p.m. with a work session at 7. So I had a bunch of announcements to make. The first is on Saturday night, I had the pleasure of attending the annual Pleasantville Volunteer Fire Department inspection, which is an occasion when each of the various companies expends an extraordinary amount of effort to get their trucks in fighting trim and compete with one another for who has the cleanest, best presented truck. Lots of us visit, including their colleagues from neighboring fire departments, followed by dinner upstairs at the fire department. It is a great occasion. Congratulations to all, but most of all, it's one of those occasions that reminds you of the extraordinary benefit we all gain from the fact that there are a whole bunch of people in the village of Pleasantville, both men and women, who volunteer as members of the volunteer fire department and respond at all hours of the day or night if any of us need them. It's an extraordinary service, one that is not only symptomatic of a tremendous commitment to the community, but is an enormous cost saving to all of us because we don't have a paid fire department. So all of us who are a little closer to what the fire department does are well aware of the fact that this is not an amateur operation. It's a highly professional, highly regulated operation with extraordinarily complicated equipment and training. And your friends and neighbors are out there doing this on our behalf. So congratulations to the Pleasantville Volunteer Fire Department. And I encourage absolutely anybody who has any interest at all to get in touch with the fire department. They have all kinds of volunteer possibilities ranging from full service as an active firefighter to administrative tasks and all kinds of other stuff. So a great bunch of people, a lively, engaging scene, and I encourage everybody to get involved. Also wanted to congratulate Bill Flukes and PCTV. Last week, PCTV held its first annual Making a Difference Awards benefit, and Bill Flukes, the proprietor of Beecher Flukes Funeral Home and also the president of the Pleasantville Chamber of Commerce, was honored and a little bit roasted, fair to say, John?
Fair to say.
At a great event. A very...
Starring our own Janine
yes,
from
Janine
the
Bowen from the Examiner was the lead reporter in a video that roasted Bill a little bit. So a really great event, an extraordinarily good video showing off.
I think it's online too.
Is it online?
Yeah.
At pctv76.org. Shane
It is
nodding.
You
Yes.
really need to.
Totally worth watching,
see it.
especially if you know Bill. But first and foremost, thanks to all those people who supported PCTV and all that it does. Thanks to PCTV for displaying its skills in such a very positive light, and congratulations to Bill for having earned the first ever what we hope will be an annual Making a Difference award, and certainly well deserved. Bill is one of those people who shows up at almost everything, doing almost everything. Get out your calendars. We have a long list of things to remind you of, including this coming Saturday down at Memorial Plaza and around the downtown is Pleasantville Day. So that's this Saturday, May 17. Fair downtown, lots of stores and merchants doing special things. The high school will be having their annual art show at the Burns Media Lab. All kinds of stuff going on, a great event. On Monday, May 26th, we'll have our annual Memorial Day services, which take place annually, starting up at the World War I Monument at BRS and then making our way down to the World War II and other war monuments in Memorial Plaza. So that's Monday, May 26th. That same week, Friday, May 30, is the Fire Department Parade, Friday evening. And on June 15th, have I got that date right, the duck race? I'll leave that to you to report.
I believe so.
Yes.
Explain the duck race. We can't just leave it at that.
We can't leave it at that. Absolutely not. The duck race is in its third year now.
Yeah, where's the
Hat.
hat?
Oh, right. Okay. So For the purposes of everyone in town, this is the official hat of the Pleasantville Duck
Do we
Race.
have a new trustee?
Yes. You maybe put it on.
Maybe not.
And the Pleasantville Duck Race is a fundraiser for the Pleasantville swim team. It is the only sports team owned, actually operated by the Village of Pleasantville. And we take little plastic ducks. You in the public adopt those ducks, bring them home, decorate them as any way you see fit. We put a number on the bottom of the duck, again, to make sure that nobody misunderstands this. They are not live ducks. And we put them in the river at the wooden bridge on the little creek that comes down from the pool, and we race them down that little creek until the concrete footbridge near the water department. And every year there are lots of prizes for first place duck, second place duck, upside down duck, backwards duck, last duck, most creative duck. What are some of the other ones we've had?
Well, there's some really good
We
ones.
have a bunch of really interesting prizes. Usually the first, second, third prizes are something fairly significant, like an iPad or something like that. And then it ranges down from there to, gift certificates to Aunt, the yogurt, Yogalicious or something like that. So it's a really good, it's a really, really fun event. The
So much
children
fun.
love it. The creativity that we see in the ducks is really, really, really fun. So we'll be at Pleasantville Day. There'll be a big booth with a giant inflatable duck. I will probably be forced to walk around with that hat on, and we encourage
I think you'll
everybody
enjoy it.
to support that. Like I said, it's a lot of fun. This year, I think we're going to do adopt a duck for $5 or adopt a whole family of ducks for $20. We hate to break up families, so we like to keep the families together. And we encourage everybody to come. It's a lot of
And
fun.
prior to that is the free clinic.
That's correct.
Right. So-
Right.
For ducks, sick
No,
ducks?
no.
Not for
Go ahead,
ducks.
tell them about the
Okay.
free clinic. It's for swim team. It's,
Right.
go ahead, Stephen. Expand on the free clinic to bring your,
Right, so you bring your children to the pool. The pool, it's a great opportunity for them to get some swim instruction from our team members. These are folks that have been swimming really since they were 5 or 6 years old. Builds a lot of interest in the children coming to the pool, getting into the water, and they're learning how to swim by playing games. So it's a tremendously fun event for them at the same time as they're learning how to do a whole bunch of stuff that keeps them safe in the water, which is really our goal.
and some of them are past members who are NCAA champions. So
Right.
that will be there to teach the kids. So it's a lot of fun.
And all of this will be on the website, right?
Yep.
So
That's right.
look back. We'll keep you up to date.
There you have it. Okay, so that's Father's Day, June 15, Ducks Gone Wild. And then last on my list, Saturday, July 12 is the 10th Annual Pleasantville Music Festival. More on that later
Well, we skipped a
in this
date.
meeting. Did I skip
Yes,
it?
so Friday, June 20th is the benefit for Reflection Scholarship to
Oh, right.
the Tina Scholarship Gala. Friday, June 20th, 7 to 11 p.m. It's a great, fun, wonderful event. And for more information, you could either call 747-4574, or there is a website, and I'm not seeing, it's www.tinagambino.org. Easy to remember.
And in a moment, we'll hear from Michael Bloom about the update for the fall 5K Run Walk event that also benefits the Tina Gambino Memorial Foundation. So more on that in a moment. Then lastly, our Great Farm Market ended its winter run last weekend at the Pleasantville Middle School. Thanks to the school district for assisting and hosting that, a great season. There is no farm market this weekend with Pleasantville Day going on, and then the first of the outdoor markets back in Memorial Plaza begins a week later, which is, I think, the 23rd. Am I got that right?
24th.
24th is right. So that's the report on that front.
I will say that I was at the meeting between the farmers market and the school board, or the school, and it's developed to be a very good partnership for both the school and for the residents of Pleasantville, and quite frankly, everybody who enjoys the farmers market during the winter. It's fairly unique in this area, and through some creative thinking and a little give and take, they figured out how to make a good partnership up there at the middle school, and it works quite well. So kudos to both the school and to the farmers market for bringing that indoors and making it available to us for more than just the summer.
Absolutely. Then the last thing on my list was to report that we're now we're participating at the request of the American Chestnut Foundation, which is, there's a New York State chapter in upstate New York that's working with the SUNY School of Environmental Studies and Forestry in Syracuse to return a healthy American chestnut tree to its native range, and they have provided us with several nuts to plant here in the village of Pleasantville.
Like we need more nuts.
Exactly. So happy to participate in that. We have been working for a long time to restore some of the new blight-resistant elm trees, and are now adding to that mix an effort to restore the American chestnut. So, anybody else? Long list of things. Let me invite Michael Bloom to the podium to report about the Tina Gambino 5K run walk. Welcome, sir.
I think when you first started this, you couldn't reach the microphone.
Yeah, I'm finally tall enough.
Yeah.
Good evening, board members, guests in the village of Pleasantville. I'm here to talk about the 4th annual Tina's 5K Run Walk and Fun Run. For the past 3 years, my family and the Gambinos have generated and sustained the race to be a successful community event. I approached the board to ask if we could hopefully have a 4th prosperous race. Before I get into the specifics of this year's event proposal, I would like to give you some of the results and accomplishments of last year's. We had more than 250 runners and over 100 walkers, and we also raised over $15,000. Last year was also the first year we had a fun run. Mr. Macucci, the Bedford Road School gym teacher, helped us to organize the mile run that took place on the middle school high school track. Over 80 kids showed up to the run, which is amazing because it was just the first year. It's always great to hear the numbers, but what's even better to know is that the 5K is now truly a community event, a goal we strive for each year. We have many volunteers, as well as the Pleasantville cheerleaders, the bone marrow and blood drives, and people coming out just to watch the race and embrace the community event. This year, we want the race to be even better, but we cannot do that without the board's consent. For this year's 5K, we would like to use the same route as the past 3 years. We would like to have the race on the same day as the Ragamuffin Parade as we have done in the past few years. I understand that the parade will be on the 25th of October, the Saturday before Halloween. Having the race on the same day as the Ragamuffin Parade helps further involve the community. Having both events on the same day gives the entire town a great feeling. Hopefully we can continue this village celebration of not only the memory of Tina, but also the community itself. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Well said.
It was really a super duper event last year. But, you know, what's really, that fun run race was so great because also some of the previous scholarship recipients were running that race, Mike Bartemioli and some other kids. So it was really so much fun to see that.
Yeah, it was great, especially to involve the younger part of the community
Yeah.
who really didn't get to know Tina.
Yeah.
So I think that's really one of the bigger
It was
purposes
so
of the
great.
race.
So great. It was a nice day, too.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, finally. We didn't have the snowstorm.
After a series
Yeah.
of near weather disasters,
Yeah.
that did not dim the event.
Yes.
Despite nature's effort to do it. Well,
Despite I tore my meniscus that day, so, but that was good. It was worth it.
we're going to put her in. I'm
In a
gonna put
bubble
her in a
next year.
wheelchair.
I'll be in the bubble.
So,
Get you jazzy.
thank you. I mean, there could hardly
Doesn't she
be
live her life in the
walking.
bubble?
could hardly be a more Pleasantville event, and it could hardly be in better hands than you and the Gambino family and the people that surround you. And we're delighted to partner with it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
very
Michael.
much.
So mark your calendar for that, October 25th. So, next on our list tonight, we have this year's class of high school students who are participating in the Pleasantville International Association and will be fanning out across the globe this summer. Can I invite Lori Stockel to come and just put in context what's going on, and then we'll ask each.
Lori, who wears so many hats in the community, just one of them.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are
Good,
you?
good. I'm Lori Stokel, and I want to thank you all for having us here tonight. I'm here to represent the Pleasantville International Association, and we were just talking to figure out how long it's been in existence, but we think it's about 40 years that Pleasantville has been sending ambassadors around the globe. And the reason we call them ambassadors is that these kids have an opportunity this summer to travel to various countries for anywhere from 4 to 5 weeks. And it's not just a travel program, but it's an exchange program, and an exchange of ideas, an exchange of cultures, and an opportunity for them to grow and develop. In addition to that, when they go on the trip, they have that experience, and then they come back to Pleasantville, and then they engage with the community. Our kids have, the ones that have already been, had the opportunity to speak to most of the grades from first grade all the way up until 8th grade. And in addition, Colleen's been gracious to have us to the Rotary. We've been able to speak to the Women's Club and really share the passion of what these kids have done with the community. And it is, it's a wonderful program that we give to our kids, and our kids give back to the community. We're very grateful tonight because we have 12 ambassadors that are traveling the globe this summer, and we are excited to be here. Although I haven't been here myself before, I know that they get the bags, and the bags is very exciting because the bags then travel to these countries. So I know that you were going to do a little ceremony for
We
them,
are, yes.
but what we have to present to you, Peter, is for the ambassadors that went last year. This is their bags and the countries that they went.
Oh, that's so pretty. It's like a,
Can you get that, Shane?
it's like a flat Stanley.
I'll put that on the website.
This is
I'll
like,
take a picture
you know,
of it.
the where in the world are the
There is
Stu
one.
Leonard's
I don't.
bag?
Or
I can take a
it's
picture
like
of
the
it.
flat
Okay.
Stanley.
Yeah, it is
Remember when the
flat
kids were little, you had to bring the flat Stanley everywhere?
That is great. Just great. All right, let me come over there.
Yeah, I'll take a picture of it and I'll put it on the website.
We're going to make good on that same offer this year.
That's great.
The kids that aren't here tonight.
All right, well, we'll call them out anyway. So, I thank you, Lori, and I just, on my own behalf, as the father of a now mid-20s daughter who was in PIA and went to Costa Rica, I can report that the history of PIA and the role modeling that goes on for the younger kids is what gets people thinking about going. And that certainly was the case for my daughter, who I think would not have thought of doing such a thing. And I went to a big regional high school in New Jersey, 2,400 kids, and I'm not aware that anyone did anything like this, in part because it was a different era, but in larger part, I think because there hadn't been this long tradition. So what a great thing PIA is. I know that there are fundraising things in the course of the year to help to defray the expenses, but it is our great pleasure to have you guys come once a year, and it gives us an excuse to fire up our otherwise dormant Department of State and to give each of the ambassadors a certificate naming them as our ambassador to the appropriate country. And we invite each of you to come up as we call your name and make your way around. And Colleen will give you this Pleasantville bag. We also have postcards of the way Pleasantville used to look, exactly why your foreign friends will be interested in that is not clear. You'll have to, might be better if we had postcards of how
Actually,
Pleasantville
we had
looks
the
now.
postcard of the old rack. Remember the year we charged the kids with getting
So-
somebody to buy it?
Yeah, we can get some postcards.
Given the range of countries, I imagine there will be a language barrier in some cases, so I'd like to be a fly on the wall as you present that. But what a great thing for you guys to take Pleasantville out around the globe, and what a great thing for all of us, as it has been every year, to have you come back and hear what you have to say. So let me call up each of you, those of you who are able to come tonight. First is Carrie Albone, who is headed to Argentina. There you go. Pleasantville's ambassador to Argentina. Make your way there. Oh, there we go. Greg Santora, headed to Spain. Jana McPartland, headed to South Korea. Patrick Watts, Paraguay. Danielle Ganis, Chile. Leo Tulchin, China. Headed maybe with his sister, at least not too far away, Sophie Dora, headed to Mongolia. Annie Stokel, South Africa.
Did you win? Yeah?
Kevin Stokel, Peru.
Good luck, Andy.
Caitlin Kwiat, Botswana. Michael Hammond, Ecuador. And Katie O'Neill, Tanzania. Thank you. So a great raft of students headed off around the globe. Some years it's only been 2 or 3. This year, 12. Last year, I think a similar number. So clearly the program is alive and well. Can't really say enough about the students who do this. Not only is there a great spirit of adventure, but I think it's not too much to say there is quite a bit of courage attached to flying off into a foreign country, in some cases all the way around the world, to find out what life is like there. And if that isn't a small contribution to a better world, I don't know what is. So I thank you all for doing it, and I thank all the parents who have supported that, and all of the PIA parents and community members who have supported it for all these many years. Thank you. All right, so now this could be an annual tradition, huh?
Do you need a picture
Can we make that an annual tradition? Get back the picture
with your daughter?
Pleasantville bags in Mongolia. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Yes, guys, good luck.
Mayor, before we start, can you just take one more picture with Margaret and Margaret's daughter?
Sure.
I noticed you brought your camera, so.
No, come on, let's take a picture.
Yeah. Come and take a picture.
Take
Come
a picture.
on.
Really, it's fun.
Any of you who want a picture with the mayor.
That's it, we have a picture.
10,000 selfies.
Don't you worry, we have a
Right,
picture.
you can take one picture with her mother.
Thanks, Margaret.
You want a picture? Yes.
That's cute.
Some of them want pictures. They should be able to come back here.
Well, you could go out.
Oh,
Just in case they wanted a picture.
no, they did, and some of the parents did anyway.
Next on our agenda, we have Saul Skolnick, Executive Director of the Pleasantville Music Festival, here to give us a bit of an update about the progress for the 10th Annual Music Festival, Saturday, July 12th.
Hi, good evening. I guess we won't have to travel as far, but the center of the universe on July 12th is just around the corner. We're working very
It's
hard.
always just around the corner, but more so on July.
Well, right, but we don't think of, yes, absolutely. At any rate, we've been working very hard with the Peak to put together 16 acts on 2 stages. We have a major sponsor, Westchester Medical Center, will be our exclusive presenting sponsor along with the Peak, as they had been last year, about which we're very excited. And tomorrow, the sales director of the Peak and I start a major push out into the market to get other sponsors. So we've been working on that for quite a bit of time. We have started to make offers for performers. Unfortunately, I can't tell you any of the performers since they have not accepted at this point.
That's just no fun.
No, well, it's a lot less fun trying to get it done, trust me.
I bet.
But you're close, is that?
We are very close. We believe within sights 2 out of the 3 performers that we're going to want for the top of the bill. We've made offers. We're waiting for responses. We have reason to believe that those 2 will accept. We have a third that rejected us about an hour ago that we had not expected, so we're working on backups. But what we do know that we will have 3 acts that can be seen as co-As that will be widely known by people over the age of 21, because the children, people under the age of 21 are usually very well served by a lot of what's on the peak and the baby bands that they bring.
Billy
So-
Joel? Is it-
Billy Joel
Oh.
will be here a little bit later, but yeah, he and Mick,
Yeah.
they couldn't
canceled
find.
the concert to come.
They couldn't find
Instead of
parking.
one of his gigs at the Madison Square Garden, he could do one here.
Absolutely. At any rate,
I don't see why not.
we plan to have a full announcement on Friday, May 23rd on the radio and online. We plan to have our tickets go on sale online on May 23rd as well. And everything else is looking like it's a lot of work, but it's going to fall into line. If you have any questions about where we are, other than the ones that we don't have signed, I'm happy to bring you up to date.
So, Saul, PleasantvilleMusicFestival.com
Yes.
is the place to not only go to buy tickets, but to keep up to date on the announcements for the lineup.
Yes.
And if you were a betting man, would you say you'll be able to have a lineup announced by this time next week?
We'll be able to report the lineup to the board when the contracts are returned.
Right.
We'll be able to announce it to the public no later than May 23rd, because we would like to let it out there at all 16 acts at one time.
Right.
So that's where we be.
All right.
Okay?
Sounds good. I want to thank you again for all the work you do on all of this. It is no small undertaking, and this year you undertake it solo. I know Rich Sarfati, our co-executive director, will be involved and has been assisting behind the scenes, but wasn't in a position to invest as much time, and that's added a burden to you, for which I thank you.
Well, not a burden at all, but you're welcome. Jim Zimmerman and Mark Orwell also have been working with me on the music, as has Rich.
As they have every year. So.
Right.
Right.
And I will tell you that our relationship and the energy coming from the peak is positive and different than it's been for quite some time. And it has made a very big difference in how everything is handled.
Great.
Okay? Thank you much.
Thank you, Saul.
Thank you, Saul.
I appreciate it. All right. Anybody else have any new subjects to bring up? Any comment from the public on any subject? We have a taker. You just give us your name and address, even though we
Yes.
know who you are.
Yes. My name is Ben Sarabin. I'm at 44 Sutton Place. I definitely recognize the amount of time and effort that you put in being on the board. And I hate to be, coming back here. Just to give you some little background, I'm just talking about the whole Sutton Place parking situation. My wife and I have come to the board. This will be our fourth time. So unfortunately, the first two times were with two different, before the two newly elected board members were on. And we were hoping that the third meeting, which we had come to, and we had gotten a number of residents, that there was going to be, I know there was a public
Hearing.
and that you were requesting more information. But I'm hoping that there's some sort of resolution, or at least to visit the street, because ideally we'd like to test whatever is planned, ideally before school lets out, just because we think that people that have visited the street recognize how dangerous it is. And that's my biggest concern, is that in essence summer is going to come and there's going to be no change, and then fall is going to come and it gets very, very busy, and I understand that. We don't really want to keep bothering you. That's the way I view it, but it is a serious issue. I mean, my mom was severely hurt. Thanks to Pleasantville EMS came and transported her to Valhalla Medical Center, but it is a very serious thing, and I'm just concerned that if someone is willing to and drive recklessly and that quick, as she's walking my daughter home who's 6, that's a concern. People shouldn't be racing around the village, so.
That obviously is true on every street. I'm not sure that racing around the village is something we can eliminate, although clearly we'll take a hard line and ask that the police do the same. And I think all of us have made the commitment to visit Sutton at some point in the next few weeks at the end of the school day, just to really see it face to face. I know Jonathan lives on Tioga and reports craziness that goes on at Ashland as well, although obviously an entirely different situation based on the specifics of Sutton, so we're going back to the police chief to get his commentary, as well as the Public Safety Committee on that subject.
Next week.
I cannot say with any certainty that this will get decided before the end of the school year. I don't mean to say that it's impossible that it might, but I'm not sure that it will, because there are a bunch of voices to be had, and as you also know from the public hearing, quite a bit of diverse opinion, even among neighbors, about what to do and whether it's appropriate to take some of the steps that are on the radar screen. Certainly, safety is very, very, very important to all of us, and there are lots of issues that have to play second fiddle to that. So, stay tuned. It's certainly not our intention to sit on this for months and months and months, but I'm not sure whether it's going to get settled within the next 6 weeks. Anybody else see that differently?
I mean, just to give you an example, like it's been almost 5.5 months and we still don't have a dead end sign or street sign. So it does
Well, Patty,
feel like we're
can you
forgotten.
ask
I mean, it is.
Public
it's
Works to just
frustrating.
I mean, that part of it should be resolved right away.
Yeah, it actually, we ordered a no outlet sign because they did steal both the street sign and the
Right. The
dead end sign.
decision
So we
was
do
no
have it on
outlet
order.
because the dead end seems to be popular.
No, that's fine.
Yeah,
I just
so-
want to
the Sutton
see
Place keeps stealing
momentum.
the Sutton Place sign too. We have four,
Uh-huh.
this is our fourth sign.
Huh.
I mean, so, I mean,
Because it has pedigree, I guess,
I have no idea. I mean, who
in the
else would
city.
want it?
You know, Sutton Place is the grand address in the city.
They're not cheap.
And a grand
Fourth
address
sign.
in Pleasantville too, no less. So, I know that you would like to see quick action. I don't blame you for feeling that way, but we also answer to all of your other neighbors, and whenever we encounter a situation like this where we have to make a decision that's going to leave some people unhappy, we have to do it as carefully as we can. And so I promise you we're not going to sit on this, and it will get decided one way or another, or in some form in the next period of time. Clearly, over the summer would be the latest it would get settled, but I'm just not sure it's going to get settled and implemented on a test basis before the end of June.
Because there is a process, unfortunately. And-
Further, we have to post a public
But
hearing.
those things you can, you have
Right.
to post a public hearing, you have to have the time,
With
the weeks
advance
before,
notice
the
and all
weeks
that.
after.
So-
That's the
Not
process.
true. I mean, we already posted a public hearing. I mean,
No, we have
No,
to
that-
post-
but if we
the-
want to
for the
change
change,
things,
you know, the
we have to
change-
post a public hearing as well. But
mean,
we
we-
just talked earlier about getting the police chief in.
Right.
You were up to look at it, and, I mean,
We've
we're
all been
moving
up
in
there. I was actually
forward.
there today too.
I
on
was there
another
last
matter.
week.
Yeah, so,
So we've been looking
We've
at
been
it.
there
I think it's
and-
important
and-
you realize that we're not just going to go, oh, yeah, that
and
whatever.
we've also asked for fire and EMT input, so,
There's a lot of moving parts
Yeah.
to changing something like this. We want to make sure we do it right. We think about it. We make sure that it's addressing as many of the possible problems and various unintended consequences that might come from this kind of thing.
Sure.
Before we make those changes.
And I
but we're
get
going
that.
to do
I
something.
mean, every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
exactly. Sure.
And I don't mean to suggest that that isn't a reason to do what we need to do on Sutton, because we will. But whatever happens on Sutton, if it changes the status quo, we'll change the status quo elsewhere as people behave differently to respond to it. So, and those neighbors will have a new set of issues, and so we just really need to put that in context.
No, I understand.
So,
I mean, just recognize
Stay honest,
the
it's
other
okay.
ones have sidewalks. That's all I want to point
Yeah.
out. So, but I appreciate.
We're aware of that. We know
Okay.
that there's unique considerations on your street.
and I totally agree with that. There are unique considerations.
Sure. Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Don't
Thank you.
hesitate to keep bothering us. It's okay.
Come
That's what we're here
bug
for.
us. I mean, that's fine.
Yes.
Thank you, Ben.
Anybody else? Any other comments or any call-ins? 769-1677.
You okay?
Cough break.
Yeah, no, I have the phone here.
Let's go to the resolutions number 81, Colleen.
Resolved that pre-check register dated May 12, 2014, covering electronic fund transfer numbers 1432 through 1480 and pre-check numbers 7774 through 77863 have been reviewed, and they are hereby approved as listed below, coming from the general fund, the water fund, the refuse fund, the capital fund, and the pool fund, totaling $151,630.22.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or questions on the check register?
I just had, on page 16, there was a check for the roof. Was this an expected check for the roof? Was it anything different?
Is it high tech? That's their final payment.
That's the
Okay,
final.
I just wanted to make sure this was
Plus the
not
retained
over and
timber
above
building.
what we owed already.
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
That's the
the
roof, the Village Hall
Right.
roof project that we undertook.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Did we get an aye all the way down?
Yes.
Motion
We did.
approved.
Aye.
All right, Mindy.
Resolved that the pre-check, sorry, I'm reading your resolution again. Resolved that the Board of Trustees has reviewed the minutes of the following meeting, March 31st, 2014, public hearing on the 2014-15 tentative budget, April 7th, 2014, annual organizational meeting, and April 7th, 2014, special meeting, and they are hereby approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Raft of minutes. Thank you for that, Judy. Are there any
Yeah.
comments or corrections? All in favor of the minutes?
Aye.
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 Motion approved. 83, Jonathan.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby approves the request from Pleasant Avenue residents to hold a block party on Saturday, May 17th, 2014, from 4 to 8 p.m.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a petition here with the requisite number of signatures closing the street. Sounds like a good time. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. 84, Steve.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village administrator to sign the agreement with PAMAL Broadcasting DBA 107.1 The Peak, as per the terms set forth in their agreement dated May 6, 2014, with respect to the 2014 Pleasantville Music Festival.
Is there a second?
Second?
Follow up to the discussion we just had with Sol. This is essentially the same contract we have had in the last couple of years with the Peak, and are pleased to partner with them again. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh,
Well, I have
I'm
a
sorry.
question on
Did you have
that. So
questions? Yeah.
does this contract been reviewed? I mean, have we had Joel and everybody look at this?
Yeah, it actually came from several iterations from our first.
So this is
Well,
the
that
same
was
sort of
council.
relationship we've had
Yeah,
here?
we just
It-
changed
it
maybe
is,
the
yes.
terms
Just-
of, the broadcasting responsibilities, but it's the same contract that we had Labor Council prepare for us many years ago.
The only thing I just noticed in it, I scanned it quick, and there doesn't seem to be anything in here about venue.
sorry, general
like,
counsel.
Where a dispute would be litigated, and so sort of the things that I would expect to see in here. And again, this may not be of concern, but I just thought, I think somewhere in here, the insurance provisions are for $1 million of bodily injury, and it doesn't say whether that's in total or per occurrence. And yet, one of the things it covers is collapse, and so if you're thinking there's a problem, is that enough, I guess, is my concern. If they're indemnifying us based on $1 million of insurance, is that sufficient to cover the kinds of things that we would fear could happen at an event like this?
Well, yeah, in addition to their coverage, which really is related to what they do on that date.
Right.
The installers for the stage provide us coverage.
Okay, so there's
All of the
secondary
vendors,
insurance there.
yeah.
All right, good.
We do, but that's a great question. But all of the people who come on the field for other parts
So
of
they
this
all extend their own?
have to survive.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, what the Peak does basically is broadcast for us and announce the festival.
Good.
They show up with their own equipment, sometimes their own people, and that's what they insure.
I was just thinking that,
But the stage is
depending,
a higher
knowing
level.
that,
Yeah,
the
no,
$1
I
million
get
bucks won't
that.
go very
But
far. if
actually,
the
it went,
stage
it went a
collapses.
little too far, and I don't know if we ever worked that out, that some of what really NYMER, our insurance company, is requiring from us for the vendors was just a ridiculous amount of insurance
Right.
for things that, like a non-food vendor paying, a ridiculous amount. Is this been taken care of, or are it still the same?
It's still the same. We're not happy with it.
Yeah, either,
It's to be reviewed. It's totally disproportionate to what
Right.
happened at Pleasantville Day.
right.
It's inconsistent with the rest of what we do, and it costs us vendors.
Right. So I thought we were going to look into that. It's their, if you're a food vendor, of course, you have that standardized, if you have food poisoning, all that
Right.
kind of stuff.
Right.
But if you're selling jewelry, I mean, you shouldn't have to put up the type of insurance that, unless somebody's going to swallow an earring. I mean, you really, how can we, work that out? I know that Saul has been complaining about that for years. I know. Patty's looking at me like she's like.
Do we
No,
have,
I
do we
mean,
buy
you
a
know what,
separate
it's
rider
not a
just
new
for the festival?
discussion. I'm trying to find a policy, maybe our provider can provide a different policy where people then can pay us another $50 for the coverage for the day.
Right.
Because individually, if they don't have it, it's very expensive to pick up. not many places write a one-day policy for festivals, and if they do,
Right.
they exclude a lot of things that these people are doing for whatever reason.
Well, but you can get event-specific insurance, right? You
can.
can get event insurance
That
that
is
covers
correct.
this event, and
That is
sometimes they
correct.
also carry cancellation if it rains. I mean, there's lots of ways to,
So I'm trying to find that coverage where we can acquire it and then just charge back.
do we go through a broker on this stuff?
We do.
Yeah, they should look, AIG has a very
Yeah, they do.
broad
But
event-related
our
insurance line.
insurance, brokers are very adamant that we get insurance where it's available. And if these vendors don't have it, they should not be participating in the event because of risk and liability. I
Right, but
mean,
if it's
why
not
would they-
pertinent to their business line,
Right, if
it
it's
seems
not-
like it's a
exactly.
little, you know.
I get it, I know.
How could they possibly get the?
It's
what-
expensive, maybe $200 for the day, and some of them are saying that's just putting them over the edge, so.
Right.
It's available, they just don't want to pay for it.
Okay, I was just primarily concerned that this $1 million is not all we have from
No.
them, so. okay,
No,
good.
no, no.
All right.
But I think that, it has to be addressed if it's affecting the vendor assortment that we're able to attract for that day.
But we need to try to get that done quickly, because we have now
Right.
in the second round of trying to get vendors, we are finding, again, food vendors is not an issue.
Not
The
an
people
issue,
who provide
right.
food are
Right.
accustomed to
They're
doing
used
all
to
the
But we
things
know
that
who
we
has
ask.
it and who doesn't. I mean, I can tell by the people that submit when I get an application from, some
But
of
we're
the
getting a lot of
vendors.
people who are refusing to submit because they're simply turned off by that package that we
That I
send
can't
out.
help them solve. I mean, this is a village,
No, I
so
understand, but
they-
it's $25 and no insurance to be at Pleasantville Day, and it just doesn't seem to make sense. The
Those
same
are
vendor.
local community groups on Pleasantville Day, the Rotary, they all have insurance.
The application
I mean,
that's
some of
on
them
our
do.
website doesn't require insurance. If a man comes to sell jewelry
Mm-hmm.
at Pleasantville Day, he's not asked to provide insurance. If he comes to the music festival, he's asked to provide that full complement of insurance. It just seems inconsistent within the same village.
Well, I think there's a lot of differences between the two events, right? I mean, we're charging admission in Pleasantville Day, it's being publicly broadcast, I mean, at the music festival. And Pleasantville Day is a little bit more,
Well, but that's why we charge
As you go.
that's why we charge much higher fees for you to be a vendor, actually 10
Right.
times more, which we agree with. But the insurance is it's different.
but I can see why the insurance companies would classify it as a different thing. In
The
that
village
world, in
takes
a
on
risk
more
mitigation
risk.
world, it's a
Yeah.
different
Alcohol
animal.
served.
Can
I know, but
can
you're
we
really
call that?
not
They're
selling
just-
goods that are going to be harmful in that way. I just don't understand why the classification isn't changed.
Well, so,
All
Can
they're
we
saying is if these
call the
companies
broker?
have it, we should have it, and they're right about that. When they see an application from Allstate to sit on the field to give out literature, they have it. Webster Bank, they have it.
Right,
They
but-
should provide insurance
Right, but
coverage.
those are not the people that we're having a problem with.
But we were anybody who didn't, I mean, there were lots of issues. The small craft vendors, they were told if they don't have it, if they're mom and pop, they could do a hold harmless. We have those agreements.
Oh, we do? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they don't like them, but they will concede that, but some of them are not that small.
They're big enough,
Yeah.
but they may not
I need
understand
to know
why.
who the problems are. Right now, I don't have, much
I
to
mean,
go on, so.
we have the unfortunate history of actually having been sued at one point
Yeah.
by a vendor.
Right.
It was a food vendor, and in the end, it was resolved in the village's favor, but
It was costly
there's
to
some risk
litigate.
there, so. All right, we
Yeah,
understand your
believe me,
frustration.
Yeah, I get
and
it. It's
we'll
frustrating
revisit
the
that.
process,
Do
too.
we call the broker? Do we talk to them again about it? Is it too late for this
I would
year?
encourage the Solnos, anybody to submit a vendor application, and then we'll take it case by case.
Okay.
Did you hear that, Saul?
Yeah. We'll just have them submit. I can't just,
Oh,
discount.
no, not at all.
it.
All right, so,
So anyway.
all in favor of the resolution for the music festival contract with the Peak?
Aye.
All right.
Aye, motion approved. 85 Cullen.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the request from the Memorial Day Committee to hold the Memorial Day Parade on Monday, May 26, 2014 at 10 a.m. Said parade route to begin at the Bedford Road School, proceed down Bedford Road to the Memorial Plaza, concluding with the ceremony at the World War II Monument. And further resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the police chief to post no parking signs along the parade route and in Memorial Plaza, and to tow all vehicles violating this temporary parking restriction.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. Again, as we say annually, it's an event really worth your time. And we encourage everybody in Pleasantville who's home that day to come on out. 86, Mindy.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the request from Holy Innocents for use of a barbecue grill on Holy Innocents property on Tompkins Avenue on Wednesday, June 4th, 2014, in conjunction with their recreation program for seniors.
Is there a second?
Second.
Happy to say yes to this, obviously. Two amusing things. One is John Cullen is one of the outdoor barbecue cooks, long-standing Pleasantville Fire Department member and a
Ex-chief.
core person in the village of Pleasantville. So, and also an occasion, as we do annually, this doesn't involve closing the parking lot, but the parking lot at the corner of Tompkins Avenue and Manville Road that has some of the spaces set aside for the church is actually owned by Holy Innocents, and they, in essence, lease most of the spaces to the village for its own use for $1 a year in exchange for our maintaining and plowing the lot. But it's, I hope, a benefit to the church, certainly an extraordinary benefit to the village, and we thank them for that long-standing relationship. We already voted on that, right? 87.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the mayor to sign the tax warrant for the fiscal year
We didn't vote on
2014.
that.
Did we not vote
No, we didn't
We
vote
did
on
not vote
on the grill?
Sorry.
Aye.
We seconded.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, sorry about
All
that.
right.
The grill's okay. 87. Sorry, Jonathan.
No, it's Stephen.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the mayor to sign the tax warrant for fiscal year 2014-15.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. 88. Steve.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby reserves the use of 6 on-street metered parking spaces on the east side of Memorial Plaza and all parking spaces within the Memorial Plaza parking lot north of the gazebo on both sides for farmers market activities. Parking restrictions will be instituted in said spaces on each Saturday from May 24th, 2014 through December 5th, 2014 between the hours of 5 a.m. and 2 p.m. And further resolved that the Chief of Police is hereby authorized to post no parking signs and to tow any vehicle that violates these temporary parking regulations.
Is there a second?
Second.
This is the same arrangement we've had in the past.
Yep.
It
No
is.
change. All in favor?
I will say, just to beware that they will tow the vehicles, and I will take full blame for this, but there will be an attempt to contact you at 4:30 a.m. if your vehicle is there, so you can come down and get it before it gets towed. The police had made statements that some people were fairly irate about getting a call that early at times, but I figured you'd rather get the call than get the call at 9 o'clock that
They're
your
usually
vehicle's
they're
impounded for
usually in the
$300
city.
tow charge. So hopefully you don't get that call, but just beware. We will try because our intent is not to tow you if we can avoid it.
Sounds good. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. 89.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village clerk to hold a public hearing on June 9, 2014 at 8 p.m. prevailing time, 80 Wheeler Avenue, Pleasantville, New York, to hear comments pertaining to local law, amending the Village Code, Chapter 173, Vehicles and Traffic, Section 173-68, Schedule 20 loading zones as follows. To add the name of the street Manville Road on the south side, all hours and days, from a point 121 feet east of Wheeler Avenue to a point 159 feet easterly therefrom.
Is there a second?
Second.
So this is a location directly in front of the Burns Film Center, and this arises from the Burns' recent appearances before the Planning Commission, both reviewing their general operations to bring their operations and their site plan approval into alignment, and also during the Planning Commission's review of the Burns' recently approved project, which is to build 2 more small theaters on top of the new addition to the building that was built originally. So there will be 2 small theaters of 30 some odd seats each, something like that. A project that will be undertaken starting sometime later this summer. But as part of that, the Planning Commission felt it important to establish a loading zone that would facilitate better pickup and drop off, and also have the Burns provide better oversight of the curbside to try to keep double parking from going on and to try to manage the goings on. So
Is this the plan, are we losing any parking spaces with this?
We're losing a parking space, yes.
One.
2
Well, we're losing one from what we have, right?
2 metered spaces.
2 metered spaces.
And we think this will improve the loading?
I mean,
that's the
this
plan?
this is the result of the
Planning
planning
board.
commission's review, and so Patty, can we have a little plan on the 9th at the
Or we
public
can do
hearing,
the schematic. We can draw it
or
up.
we can project it just so
Right.
that people can see exactly what's proposed.
Yes.
And what problem it's solving? I mean,
The
Right.
double parking.
So,
Then I'll get the minutes
so
from
the
planning
2
commission.
parking spaces we're losing are to, if you're coming out of the theater, to the right?
Yes.
And is one of them a handicap space or no?
It is, and that'll be relocated just south of the theater's entrance, so it'll
So we're
be-
really losing 3.
No,
Oh, no, no.
Well,
I mean, one of them is
because-
handicapped already.
Yes, we're just.
So- We're
just moving the
that's right.
handicap.
Moving the handicap space just south of the entrance, making it the second spot up.
No,
on
but
the
we're
street.
converting a regular space into a handicap space, so we're losing that as regular parking, which, I get, and then,
It's a net
Another-
loss of
another
2
s-
regular spaces.
Right.
The handicapped space just shifts to another location.
but it's technically, well, you're losing 2 regular
Right.
parking
Right.
spaces.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
All right, so that is subject to a public hearing on June 9 at 8 p.m. All in favor? Aye. Motion approved.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees, in accordance with the village law, hereby authorizes the village treasurer to levy unpaid water rents to the 2014-15 tax roll.
Is there a second?
Second.
And that, just for clarification, is Resolution 90, not 91, as it showed in the original agenda. And it's backed up by a 5-page document that indicates that our delinquent water...
90.
Resolution 90.
Yeah, on the,
Yeah.
on the screen it says 91.
Our delinquent water bills amount to $103,023.75. Those delinquent fees get rolled over to your property tax liability, and that becomes a liability that is secured by the property. And I very much encourage anyone who's behind in their water rents to catch up, both because it benefits all of us if everybody can stay current, and also because it's a lousy way to borrow money, so.
I think it's cost you 12% to borrow money from
Yes.
us.
from the water
Right,
department.
so,
What period of time is this over? Like, are these outstanding debts from 5 years ago, or just
No,
this
they'd be
period?
current fiscal year,
Current
probably
fiscal year.
last quarter or 2.
well, I mean, some of them reflect longer than that,
It's only 1 year.
right?
It can only be 1 year.
Well, because
they
we've
levy
rolled them
every
over
year.
last year,
Because then we sweep it,
well.
we basically
Right.
sweep it and
Right.
right, we roll them annually to the tax
drop
list.
it. Okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. 91, Jonathan.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees
Can't even get
hereby
resolved out.
approves the following budget amendments. We are moving $35,500.
36.
Excuse me, $36,500. We're increasing the expense budget account for sanitary sewers, outside services by that amount. In addition, we're transferring $29,769 from various budget code accounts, including hospital medical and insurance, to finance buyback, police uniforms, snow overtime, water admin, and vacation buyback, and the refuge vacation buyback.
Is there a second?
Second.
So, as reported by Jonathan, $29,769 is housekeeping transfers of accounts that are over budget, funded by accounts that are under budgeted, all within the existing budget. The amount of $36,500 is an appropriation from our fund balance, in essence, from our savings account, to pay for the sanitary sewer repair on Wheeler Avenue. You want to just describe that, Patty?
Yeah, that was a sewer relining project. We were very happy to report that it went extremely well. It was done overnight. It involved relining the sewer main that runs behind Village Hall all the way down to the Iron Horse Grill, and then cutting out those laterals and establishing the connections again. So it went very well. It also involved a small portion of sewer main on Virginia Place. We did that the night before. So, we're happy to report that we believe we've gotten ahead of a situation that would have been a very catastrophic situation if that line had failed, because there's really no way to get to it.
Right,
So-
it's an extraordinarily difficult
Yeah.
location, and there was a little bit of fear about how it would go. Unfortunately, it went very well, thanks not only to the company that did a good job on it, but to Jeff Econom, who was here pretty much all night supervising that project as well. So these are the things that go on behind the scenes to keep water and sewers running in the village of Pleasantville. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion
Aye.
approved. And then we have an additional number 92 that wasn't on our original agenda, block party request. Steve, have you got that one?
We do. Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the request from Clark Street residents to hold a block party on Saturday, June 7th, 2014, from 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. That's a long block party.
Is there a second?
They do it right on Clark.
right.
Yeah, Clark Street
It's
is,
actually a graduation. They do their graduations all together.
Oh, do they? Oh, that's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
it's a legendary occasion on Clark Street, and as I hear it, one of many good reasons that you would want to live on Clark
Clark
Street. So,
Street.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. That being the last of our resolutions, was there any new business?
Nope.
Motion to adjourn and go into executive session on matters of personnel.
So on.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Off we go to executive session. Thank you all. See you on June 9th for a regular meeting. We have a work session next week. And again, remember that we've got coming up Pleasantville Day this week, and in the last week of the month, Memorial Day on Monday, Fire Department Parade on Friday, the last Friday in May. Thank you and good night.
All right.